Thank you very much, and I would like to start by thanking Peter and the organizers again for inviting me here, because I did know about the Global Model Forest Network, but I was not 100% sure what you do. And as they say, seeing is believing, so now I am a believer in the Model Forest Network, because I was very impressed by the commitment of people here, by the pragmatic dialogue, solutions-oriented dialogue, by the north-south, south-south dialogue that was without any ideological barriers. So I'm very impressed. Good. And as I work in the scientific unit of the CBD Secretariat, I was also trying to capture things that, at least at the global policy level, we can bring from the symposium to our next meeting of the subsidiary body on scientific, technical, and technological advice, so that this can come before the parties of the CBD. As I mentioned in the beginning of the symposium, we have a request from our COP to look at exactly this issue of landscape perspectives and improving agriculture and forestry in a landscape perspective. What I did learn in the past 2 days is there are no one-size-fits-all models, but there are nevertheless things that we can learn from each other. In terms of what the future holds for landscape approaches, that was the first question that we were asked as panelists. My answer is not going to be very exciting, I'm afraid, because I think the future holds very much similar challenges as the past, only they will be between 50 and 100% more challenging because of population growth, because of increasing pressures on natural resources. But at the same time, there are bigger, there are better opportunities to address these challenges. We have new and better technologies. Jeff McNeely mentioned social media and all the opportunities that come with it. We have new policy approaches developed since 1992 and in the recent years. However, what also became very clear to me in the discussions, including over lunch today, is that we need a vision and a mission that informs us about where we are going, be it for the community, be it for the forest landscape, for a country, or even as a global civilization. There has to be a clear idea of where we're headed. And everybody is talking about the green economy and economic arguments. Yes, economic arguments are very important, but they cannot be the only guiding principle by which we make trade-off decisions, because that will often lead us to making the wrong decisions. There have to be other values that go into the equation. I'd just like to briefly highlight this quote from Pablo Picasso, that our goals can only be reached through the vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. And at least for biodiversity, that was a 2-year struggle with lots of discussions and many international meetings that led to a vision for 2050 that biodiversity is valued, conserved, restored, and wisely used, maintaining ecosystem services, sustaining a healthy planet, and delivering benefits essential for all people. There's also a 2020 mission that goes with it. I will not read that out, but rather go to the targets that then underpin this mission. And when we look at the forest-related targets, I know that Carol said we should de-emphasize forests, but nevertheless, I'm going to focus on the forest targets here. I think that gives us a very ambitious but also very clear route of where to go. There are other targets among the 20 targets that are very important, such as phasing out harmful subsidies. Of course, agriculture is the big elephant in the room when we talk about landscape perspectives, and the subsidy question that comes with it, and that is one of the targets also of the strategic plan. But at least this gives us something to go by, even though it might be difficult. It is a clear plan. What I also learned, and I was very relieved to learn that, is that we do not need to reinvent the wheel or even the basic underlying approach, because the ecosystem approach is very strong and alive and probably more relevant today than ever, because the amount of trade-offs that we will need to make is increasing. However, the first principle, that ecosystem management must be a matter of societal choice, is probably the most important of all of them. And I heard this again and again from different countries, from different model forests, that in order to have an informed societal choice, we need to inform, empower, and engage the stakeholders and the local communities. And once there is an informed choice, it is usually a sustainable one that often follows more or less automatically if that choice is very well informed and if it's made by a community as a whole or a society as a whole. The ecosystem approach can also, to a degree, absorb a lot of the new kids on the block, if you want to call RED Plus or other things, approaches that give us new opportunities, because these are a set of underlying principles that can be applied to planning, whether it is for carbon management or for timber management or for other ecosystem services. An outlook towards 2020, I would just like to encourage you to celebrate success stories more. There's a lot of useful work in the global model forest net, in the international model forest network, and that needs to be shared more widely. So Rio Plus 20 will be a very good opportunity, of course, and so will CBD COP11 next year. Then there's UNFF 10 2013. There's a set of milestones we have towards 2020 that we can use to not only learn from each other, but hope that others learn from you. Because that, I think, is even more important. And to me, the word model implies that in an equal degree we learn from each other, but we also have to ensure that others learn from the success stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.